Hello friends, in the last video, cutting through the spider's web. In the video, I had discussed that to solve any problem in life, you need to keep raising your levels. Every shooter in the world, when he picks up his pistol, goes from A to B to C to follow through. He does so with one and only one goal in mind, and that is to shoot a 10. Now, if you don't shoot a 10, then that's a problem, because you want to shoot a 10, you're not getting your 10, so that's the problem. So how do you solve this problem? If you don't shoot a 10, what is it? Which are the areas in which you need to raise your level so that every time you pick up a pistol, you shoot a 10? It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be technical, it could be financial, it could be material, it could be emotional, it could be spiritual. In this video, I will only be talking about the first two, which is the physical and the technical. Physically, if you want to shoot a 10, you must obviously have the ability, the strength, the flexibility to pick up a pistol from point A, B to C to follow through and to execute one single shot. And similarly, for a match, you need to do it 60 times. So physically, you need to stand on the firing point and have the physical strength and the ability to shoot 60 record shots plus whatever sighter shots are required. If you can do that, then tick the box where physical ability is concerned. The next thing that we go to is the technical reason. Now, what is the technical requirement? If you wish to shoot a 10, you must know exactly what to do when the sights come into the aiming area. Very briefly, there are 3 steps. The first is you must know what the aiming process is. The second is you must know what automatic trigger operation is. And the third thing is you must know what mental focus follow through is when the sights come into the aiming area. What is the aiming process? The aiming process is divided into 3 parts. The first is when your sights come into the aiming area, your sights should be aligned. The second thing is they should be in sharp focus. And the third thing is your arc of movement should be reduced. So knowing this is fine. But the next step is mastering. In order to master these 3 elements of the aiming process, you have to train very methodically. You must have a good coach. You must have a good training program, because knowing how to master these 3 skills in the quickest possible time is the smart thing to do. So you've got to have a very good coach who himself knows what the aiming process is. Second, he must know how to give you a training program which provides you mastery in all these 3 things, in all the 3 elements, in the shortest possible time. Now, what happens is when you don't have a coach, or you don't know how to master your skills, you just go on shooting, and you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, your effort, your money, everything. And you again get into the spider's web. So this is the first level in the technical aspect which you have to raise, is to find out how to master the three elements of aiming process. Only when you have achieved mastery, that is in 60 record shots or 90 shots or 120 shots, every time your sights come into the aiming area, if you have mastered the aiming process, mastered all three elements, only then and only then will you be able to master the second step, which is automatic trigger operation. Now you know that when the sights come into the aiming area, if your aiming process is mastered, the trigger should move automatically. There's no need to hang around there. With the moment you hang around, the trigger is going to freeze. It's going to cause a delay. And with delay, you run out of breath and you jerk the shot. Or you cancel the shot. And then come into new problems, which is time pressure. So once your sights come into the aiming area and your aiming process is mastered, your trigger should move automatically. This is the knowing part. Mastering this skill. Once again, do you have a coach? Do you have somebody who will teach you how to make your trigger operation automatic? Do you have a training methodology? You have to find some method of how to make this trigger operation automatic. Supposing you do find somebody and you master the trigger operation, then you have to master the third step, which is to keep your mind focused 100% on the trigger operation. The moment the sights come into the aiming area, your mind has to be focused 100% on the trigger operation before, during, and after the shot is fired. Only if you have mastered these three technical areas will you be able to shoot a 10. The other day I was asking a shooter in a group, XYZ, do you know how to shoot a 10? So since he was sitting in a group and since he was shooting since the last 2-3 years at a fairly okay score, 555s and all that. So it was his ego which was challenged when I asked him the question, and he said, of course I know how to shoot it. No problem. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Good for you. The next day when I was getting into my car, I saw this boy approaching me, and he had a very diffident attitude. You want to speak to me? He said, yes, sir. I want to speak to you regarding the question that you asked me yesterday. When I went back home and when I went to sleep, I thought about your question. And truthfully, I can tell you that I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure whether I really know how to shoot a 10 or not. I said, very good. And that's the first step. You have to realize that you don't know how to shoot a 10. Because if you don't know how to shoot a 10, how will you achieve your goal for every shot? So the first step is ask yourself this question. Do you really know how to shoot a 10? And those of you who are shooting 560s and 570s shoot 25, 30, 35 10s easily. And if you are saying, yeah, I know how to shoot a 10, think very carefully about the next question that I'm going to ask you. At night, think over it. My dear friend, if you really know how to shoot a 10, then why is it that you are shooting only 30 10s? Why not 35? Why not 40? Why not rows and rows and rows of 10s? One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. You say you know how to shoot a 10? Then you should learn how to shoot rows of 10s. I know what your answer is, and we will come to that in the next video, where we will discuss the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual aspects. Till then, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions related to all these points, if you wish to know how to master the aiming process, the automatic trigger operation, and how to keep your mind focused when the sights come into the aiming area on the trigger operation. My contact details are provided at the end of this video. Feel free to WhatsApp me, email me, or pick up the phone and ask me a question. If you are afraid to even ask me a question, for heaven's sake, how in the world are you ever going to be a confident shooter in a match situation? If you're afraid of asking a question to which you're going to get a reply, a free reply, what are you going to do in a match situation? Right? So don't hesitate to ask me a question, to ask me and to discuss with me face to face. Do share this video, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. Till then, I look forward to your questions. Happy shooting as always. Bye.